What did I teach you?
You are the Duke of New York. You're A #1.
I can't hear you.
You are the Duke of New York. You're A #1.
Give me the diagram.
I am the Duke of Tears, and I've been here for years. From the dawn of time into the times we in. It's time I make it known that once again it's on. That the age of Aquarius has now been born. It's on.
The premise of this interpretation is called Freemasonry sucks. And I'm not saying that people who are Freemasons suck. I'm saying that if you practice Freemasonry, eventually you may turn into somebody who sucks. Not just in the form of fellatio, you know what I mean, or whatever else, but also in the sense of having to now suck the life force of other beings to exist because you feel soulless, based upon you agreeing to learn by degrees given to you by another man. When our Father who art in heaven said, "None shall see the kingdom but through me." There's a point in the structure that becomes broken down. Freemasonry, as the modern day priesthood, right, is set up the way it is to keep people from accessing their true spirituality and soul, and to be able to escape into their souls, because you give it up when you take the oath to another man like that. Whenever you create a situation where you are at the whim of someone else, you are always going to be in a situation where you have to come up by that person's grace. You have generationally people who were raised up based upon them being slaves. You know what I'm saying? They became slaves because they were incarnated into vessels that didn't have the spiritual capacity to achieve maximum velocity and leave this reality into whatever dimension after the physical spacesuit we call the human body returns to the earth. Within that, it becomes a situation where you and I had to create a system of checks and balances where they would now have to be brought up into the human family from nothing, literally. The Yaqubian experiment, clarified by Honorable Elijah Muhammad, peace be upon him, he, the being that we perceive as Yaqub, when we think of the story, we are talking about a generational experiment that has been going on as long as Caucasoid people began to incarnate in this dimension. But in the process of that, through the years, there was also a war going on to stop that. And us today are either people who used to be for or against the experiment. See what I'm saying? So the same people you conflicting with now is the same people that you was conflicting them. And the basic purpose, if you really look at a lot of the personal conflicts you have every day, it's about consciousness. Whether or not you are into the person that you are in conflict with is entertaining an animalistic consciousness, or a person that's trying to mediate and come to some type of resolve to whatever issue may be. We was already doing the masonry thing, you know what I mean? Because we were born on the square. And in the square there's a circle, and in the circle there's a pyramid, and in the pyramid there's a diamond, you know what I mean? And in the diamond there's a dot. So we're all of that and none of it, because we were around to witness it happen. What you as a black woman represent to them is the food or the gateway to pop off whatever they want to pop off. So what you got to do is fortify yourself by like wearing like white undergarments or violet overgarments. Walk with onyx, like I was saying, the eggs or crystals specifically. Have some brick dust on you. You know, you can get a brick and bash it up, put it in like a little satchel, or what we used to call a wampum, and you could, God forbid you ever got in something, you blow brick dust at it, you know, it's gonna, in the eye, it's gonna fuck it up physically and spiritually. You know what I'm saying? Silver is a good protection. They can't do anything openly yet because they know if they do it openly, anything could happen. And whatever's in us is going to come in line to help protect us. It's not like God just saying, oh, well, do it yourself and shit. It's like, nah, shit will move, you know, because it's all illusion anyway. See, I was saying the black and white. Black and white is definitely needed, the Jachin and Boaz. There's a movie people could look at called Holy Mountain that the God just put me onto last night that's really rife with Comedian veiled satanic imagery. That's Albert Pike. I call him Albert Bike because they used him like a bike to get where they wanted to go on an occult level. This represents the Scottish Rite. You know, the ritual that Erykah Badu did. She's telling people it's the alchemy symbol on her chest. That's bullshit. It's the symbol for the Royal Arc Mason. That's what that is. And that whole video, basically, whether she know it or not, sorry, but it's real. Whether you know it or not, it was a Scottish Rite ritual in which you were allowed to participate. Essentially, we're talking about the overall destruction of everything in a symbolic fashion. The image-wise, in terms of why the black woman's behind is out, is because that's essentially where she's at. You know what I mean? As beautiful as she is, this masonry is using her stature as a means to create it, because the buttocks is where the skull of the original man or woman forms, and the bigger the buttocks, the bigger the brain. So when one of my children was born, they were born with an Olmecan naturally. You know what I'm saying? Where it was extended. And because we, of course, was on it where there was no forceps or nothing like that, his head naturally came back into place without the old school method of the Maya or the what became the Inca, which was binding the head with rocks and all that stuff. All of that was to create a different race of people. You see what I'm saying? So, again, we're talking about the creation of races through veiled Freemasonry, by the delusion of people who believe they're free because they can do these rituals and wear these robes and all this other crap that has nothing to do with the spiritual function of what we gave it to them for. And because they now have accepted that, they are working to rapidly become us and get us to pledge with them instead of pledging with ourselves and God to be able to sustain themselves and throw their so-called karma on us. In my interpretation, Freemasonry sucks because ultimately you are going to have to suck something. Conceptually, physically, anally,
Exactly.
lyrically, financially, whatever. You're going to have to suck something from somebody in order to keep it going, because that lodge got your soul. A person is not a morph. They're not dealing with the Zodiac according to what Ali. So that's what I'm fucking with. You have now been a part of Prince Hall Mason's ritual form from Albert Pike, Histories and Rituals and Symbols of the Blue Lodge, Illusions of Oasis, Freemasonry Sucks, an interpretation by me, Aseer the Duke of Tears, and my illustrious family. We have a website, www.aseerthedukeoftears.com. We also got shirts. Show them shirt cap. It's the Corsican Moor. That's the flag from Napoleon's home country. If you're in a place and you can't have no women there, I don't really mess with stuff like that. I'm on some, man, woman, child. We gotta be about that because that's the Trinity. Those of us that are Masons, who are not Freemasons, I salute you for being able to even be a part of any of that shit in the present state of calamity that it's in. So let's all do what we need to do. Peace. Thank you to Order Vision, and peace to the ancestors, because without them we wouldn't be here. Peace.
I say, yo.
Mama, Dede. Peace.
And the Duke of Tears ruled the lands of Evermore in splendor and peace, and awaited the firebird Phoenix, who arose from the east, and both worked in unison to forever slay the beast.